Good morning. Good morning. I hope I'm audible and visible. Yes. So in the yesterday sessions, we had started with rectification of errors. I had given you a couple of questions as homework. Did you all do it? These were the two questions. Good morning, everyone. Once again, I'll just put the answers for these questions. See if you've got it right. Anyway, we'll come back to this. I'll discuss the answers a bit later. Today we're going to start with a new concept or new chapter, which would be the company accounts. And in company accounts also, I will be doing issue of debentures now. A very small part, very small chapter. I can quickly finish this, and it's important also from the exam point of view. A couple of type of questions which can be asked in your exams will be discussed first. Okay, so basically there are around four concepts in this unit. In company accounts, you have three units, right? This is the third unit, issue of debentures. So there are four concepts, 4 or 5 important concepts from this particular unit. One is writing off that loss. So you have the loss account when you are issuing the debentures. There's a possibility that you make up two kind of losses. There are two types of losses. What are the two types of losses? One loss is issue discount. Okay, so I was talking about losses on issue of debentures. There could be how many types of losses? There could be two types of losses. One is issue discount, and the other one is redemption premium. So when you have these losses, you have to write it off. And the writing off process is not directly booking into P&L at the end of the year. Rather, what we do is we spread it across the redemption period. So it depends on how you're redeeming the debentures. Again, redemption could happen at one shot, or it could be uh, in installments. So it depends on the redemption. So relating to that, we have a couple of questions. I'll do that first, and then we'll go to the next concept. Look at this question. Pure Limited, question number one. I hope everyone is with me. Pure Limited issues 1,12% debentures of rupees 10 each at rupees 9.4 on 1st January 2018. So here the debentures are being issued by the company, 1 lakh debentures of 10 rupees at 9.4. So it's a lower price. No. So you are making a loss. This is discount on issue. You're making a loss of 0.6 per debenture. Under the terms of issue, the debentures are redeemable at the end of 5 years from the date of issue. Calculate the amount of discount to be written off in each of the 5 years. Now, first you have to recognize, or you have to understand, sir, is the redemption happening in one installment or multiple installments? So one installment means, are we repaying at once, at one shot, or am I repaying in multiple installments, like multiple times? So that you have to understand. So for this, it's like saying, see here, under the terms of the issue, the debentures are redeemable at the end of the 5 years from the date of issue. So what is this? Is it multiple or is it once? It's quite clear that it is at one shot. At the end of 5 years means it's once after 5 years. So now we are issuing this on 1/1/2018. So after 5 years means it's 1/1/23. We will be redeeming the debentures. So while writing off the loss, what we have to do is we have to write it on straight line method, or equally we will write it off. So what is the total loss? You have to first calculate. 0.6, 10 rupee ka debenture, you issued it at 9.4, so you're making a loss of 0.6. Totally like this, you're issuing 1 lakh debentures, so the amount of loss is 60,000 rupees. 0.6 into 1 lakh, 60,000 rupees is the total amount of loss. Now that amount of loss will be written off on equally across the 5 years. So 5 years you will be writing it off. So 60,000 divided by 5 years, 12,000 rupees each. Every year we will have to write off the loss. Very simple concept. When your debentures are being redeemed at one shot or one installment at one shot only. This is all one shot, no lump sum. Redemption in lump sum. So after 5 years, we're repaying everything together. So in such cases, the loss, whatever loss you have made on issue of debenture, will be written off equally. These questions are important for this attempt specifically because it can come. It's come before, but I have a gut feeling this can come for your exams. Not just this, I'll do one more question. That one is more important. That is this question. This is a little different to understand. I hope you have understood that first question which we discussed. Now let's read this question. So that's a very simple question. Okay. Now read this question. HDC Limited issued 2 lakh 12% debentures of rupees 10 each at 9.4. So here also 10 rupee ka debenture. We are issuing it at 9.4. So there's a discount of how much? 0.6 per debenture, right? On 1st January 2020. Under the terms of issue, 1/5 of the debentures are annually redeemable by drawings. First redemption occurring on 31st December 2020. Calculate the amount of discount to be written off from 2020 to 2024. Okay, now see this. Here it's not, how have they said? Read the sentence again. They said the debentures were issued on 1st January 2020. Again, 0.6 was the discount. 2 lakh debentures, 0.6 into 2 lakh you have to do. What is the loss amount? 1,20,000 is the loss. 2 lakh into 0.6. Correct? No. 1,20,000 is the loss. Now see the redemption part. This is what is important. Under the terms of issue, 1/5 of the debentures. What do you mean by 1/5 of the debentures? 2 lakhs into 1 by 5. Okay, 40,000 debentures are annually redeemable by drawings. The first redemption occurring on 31st December 2020. So they are redeeming 40,000 debentures annually on 31st December 2020, then 31st December 21, 22, 23, 24. It is 5 times they will redeem. So this is what they're saying. So this is redemption in installments. So here the question gets interesting. So what we do is you can just drop a small chart. So when did we issue the debentures? We issued the debentures on 1/1/20. How many debentures were issued? Pay attention, pay proper attention. This is important. When you look at the textbook, it can be a little difficult to understand this. So I am making a chart and explaining it to you. So please pay attention when I discuss this. Okay, so 1/1/20, I issued how many debentures? 2 lakh debentures. Then we're going to redeem the debentures on 31/12/20. Am I going to redeem everything? No. I'm going to redeem 40,000 debentures. Then again, we're going to redeem on 31/12/21 40,000 debentures. Again, I will redeem 40,000 debentures. Again, I will redeem 40,000 debentures. And finally, one last time, totally 5 times, because 2 lakh debentures, 40,000 into 5. I redeemed 40,000 debentures. I hope all of you have understood this much. Now, we have to calculate how many debentures were outstanding each year, because in that proportion only we have to write it off. So outstanding debentures. In 2020, how many debentures were outstanding? 2 lakh was issued on 1/1/20. At the end of the year, 40,000 was redeemed, right? So throughout the year 2020, how many debentures were outstanding? Full 2 lakhs. 2 lakh debentures were outstanding throughout the year 2020. This is the year 2020. Here, full 2 lakh debentures were outstanding. Then at the end of 31/12/20, at the end of 2020, we redeemed 40,000. So during 2021, how many debentures were outstanding during 2021? Outstanding debentures were out of 2 lakh, 40,000 has been repaid. So how much is remaining? 1,60,000 is remaining. Then again, another 40,000 was repaid. So how much is remaining outstanding? 1,20,000. Again in 2023, outstanding is 80,000 because out of 1,20,000, 40,000 was redeemed. And here in 2024, 40,000 is remaining. 2025, nothing will be remaining because we have redeemed everything. I hope you have understood how I calculated this outstanding debentures. I calculated it by minusing. So you just have to draw this chart and you will get to know how I got this. Now, whatever the loss is there, how much is the loss we made? 2 lakh debentures, 2 lakh units into zero point 0.6, right? 0 point 0.6 was per unit loss. So 1,20,000. This 1,20,000 rupees loss will be written off in all of these years in 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. In this ratio only, what is the ratio? 2 lakh is to 1,60,000 is to 1,20,000 is to 80,000 is to 40,000. So in this ratio, I will be writing off this 1,20,000. So whatever that 1,20,000 loss we have made will be written off throughout the 5 years, 2020 to 24, in this ratio. So you can see this table. You have to draw this table in the exams. Calculation of amount of discount to be written off. So you have 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24. You have to write the outstanding debentures. So this we calculated through the chart. In 2020, 2 lakh debentures were outstanding. In 21, 1,60,000 was outstanding. 1,20,000, 80,000, 40,000. Forget the total for now. Now what you have to do, the total amount of discount comes to 1,20,000. This we calculated 0.6 per unit into 2 lakh units. So that's 1,20,000 is the total discount. Now that discount needs to be written off in this ratio. What do you mean by ratio? Now, if I say it should be in the ratio of 1:2:3, what will be the fraction for the first year? 1 divided by 6. How did I get this denominator of 6? I added up all of these three, right? So that is how you calculate a fraction or a proportion. That's how you do it. So 1:2:3, the first year it will be 1 by 6. 6 was the total of all the 3 years ka ratio, whatever that share was there, that ka total was the denominator. So similarly over here also, I told you it should be written off in this ratio. 2 lakh is to 1,60,000 is to 1,20,000 is to 80,000 is to 40,000. So in this ratio, you have to write it off. So if you're writing it off in this ratio, then for the first year, it will be 2 lakh divided by the total of everything, which is 6 lakhs. So 1,20,000 into 2 lakh divided by 6 lakh, 40,000 will be the amount of loss to be written off for the first year. Then 1,20,000 into 1,60,000 divided by 6 lakh. Then 1,20,000 into 1,20,000 divided by 6 lakh. So like this, in that ratio you have to write off, you will get these amounts. So this is how the loss account is written off, or in this case, it's the discount account. So discount on issue of debenture is written off like this. I hope you have understood the table. The main thing is the chart. You should understand the chart and then you have to draw the table. Is this clear? Okay. There are a couple of questions in your textbook also. You can just have a look. Uh, Similar questions. And one more thing that they can ask is to ask you to draw the discount on issue of debentures account, which is very easy. So discount on issue of debenture account, the ledger will look something like this. So you issued the debentures on 1/1/20. So here you will write 2, whatever percent debenture those are, 12% debentures. What is the discount amount? 1,20,000, right? So that will be debited to this account. And each year, at the end of the year, you have to transfer it to profit and loss. So by profit and loss, not the whole 1,20,000. How much will I write off in the first year? 40,000. So by profit and loss, 40,000. Then whatever the balance is there, the balance is how much left? 80,000. That will be carried down to the next year. Again, we will write off the loss in the next year as well, 32,000. By P&L, 32,000. Again, you'll calculate by balance carried down like this. Each year you have to do. You understood, no, how to do this? Whatever the difference is. 80,000, 48,000, right? So like this, you have to go on doing. At the end, it will become zero. After 5 years, it will become zero. That's all. That is the concept of this writing of the issue. Very important it is. Just have a look at the textbook questions and just see. It's come for the exams before. Very simple concept. Quickly, you can score 5 marks. Yes, this concept. So what we did was this question, a similar question, illustration 12 just now. Yes, yes, it's enough to write P&L. You don't have to write profit and loss. P&L is fine. We did this question just now, illustration 12. This question also we just now did a little differently. You can do. You don't have to write like this. We did it a little differently. That's it. That is about the writing of discount account. I hope you have understood this. Okay, now next one is these questions. This also we will discuss quickly. Avantika Limited purchased machinery worth 9,90,000 from Avneet Limited. The payment made by issue of 10% debentures of 100 each. Pass the necessary journal entries for the purchase of the machinery and to issue the debentures. Okay, very nice question, very easy question also, but you make a lot of mistakes over here. Although the question is very easy, you do some mistakes. So we will solve this question together. Avantika Limited purchased machinery worth 9,90,000, what they have said, from Avneet Limited. The payment was made by issue of 10% debentures of 100 each. Pass the necessary journal entries for the purchase of the machinery and issue of debentures when there are three cases. Debentures are issued at par, debentures are issued at 20% discount, and debentures are issued at 20% premium. So one by one, we will see. First, you have to write the entry for purchase of that machinery. So in the books of Avantika Limited, first entry for purchase of machinery from Avneet Limited, we purchased the machinery, right? 9,90,000. So the journal entry for that is machinery account debit to Avneet Limited account 9,90,000. being machinery purchased. Now, case one. So before you jump to the solution, you should see how many debentures are we issuing. Debentures are issued at par. So what is the value of one debenture? One debenture ka value is 100 rupees. So we have to pay off 9,90,000. So 9,90,000 divided by 100. So how many debentures should I issue? 9,90,000 divided by 100. I have to issue 9,900 debentures at par. So simple it is. Avneet Limited account debit. So we have a liability towards Avneet Limited. We're closing it. So debit Avneet Limited. Avneet Limited account debit to 10% debentures, 9,90,000. Being 9,900 debentures issued to Avneet Limited. Very simple. Next one. Debentures are issued at 20% discount. So now you have to first calculate the issue price. So 100 rupees is the face value of the debentures. We are giving a 20% discount. So the issue price will be 100 minus 20, 80 rupees. We have to pay off totally how much? What is the amount that we will have to pay off? 9,90,000 we will have to pay off, right? We had purchased a machinery. So 9,90,000 divided by 80. So how many debentures do we end up issuing? 12,375. So to do that calculation, see the working note. Number of debentures to be issued in case of 20% discount. Face value is 100, discount is 20%, value at which it is issued is 80 rupees. That's the issue price. So totally how many debentures do I issue? 12,375 debentures I issue. So now to issue these 12,375 debentures at a discount, we're giving a discount over here. So the entry will look like this. Avneet Limited account debit, 9,90,000. There's a discount. So discount on issue of debentures, account debit, 2,47,500. How did you get that? So 12,375 debentures into 20 rupees. That's the total loss. 20 rupees was the discount. No. So that will be debited to discount on issue of debentures account, 2,47,500 to 10% debentures. This is the face value of the debentures. 12,375 into 100. 12,37,500. So like this, the issue entry is passed at discount. I hope you understood how I calculated the number of debentures. Once you understand that, then everything is easy. You just have to calculate the number of debentures to be issued first. 80 rupees is the issue price, 9,90,000 is to be paid. So 9,90,000 divided by 80 rupees, 12,375 debentures we have to give. That's all you should know. Then it is routine entry. Avneet Limited is debited with 9,90,000. Discount is 12,375 into 20 rupees to face value of the debentures. Whatever the face value, 12,375 into 100, that will be credited to the debentures account. I hope you have understood this. Okay. Next, they have said when it is issued at a premium of 20%. So in this case now, the issue price will be 120, right? 120. Now see how many debentures I have to issue. To repay 9,90,000, 9,90,000 divided by 120. 8,250 debentures I have to issue. So number of debentures to be issued is equal to the face value is 100, the premium is 20%. So I will have to issue a total of 8,250 debentures here. So now you have to issue 8,250 debentures to Avneet Limited. The entry will be Avneet Limited account debit, 9,90,000 to 10% debentures, 8,25,000, which is 8,250 into 100. And this premium of 20 rupees, which is 8,250 into 20, premium on issue of debentures or security premium. You can also write security premium. 1,65,000. Simple. I hope you have understood this. So this is the journal entry for issue of debentures. Again, this question also is important. Simple question, not very complicated. Only that workings you should focus on. Discount, if it is discount, what is the tendency directly 9,90,000 minus 20%? Not like that. You should see how many debentures to issue and issue those debentures. When it is at a premium, you have to again see do the same calculation. These workings are important. So you have to see how many debentures to issue and then issue those debentures. So this is how you have to do it. I hope this is clear. I hope you have understood how to do this. One more question, similar but a little different question, which has appeared in the exams before. A company, Y Company Limited, issue 10,000 12% debentures of the nominal value 60,000 as follows. To vendors for purchase of fixed assets worth 13 lakh, 15 lakh is the nominal value. Okay, first, to purchase a fixed asset, case one, I'm directly starting with this. So you purchase a fixed asset from some vendors. So the entry for that is fixed asset account debit, 13 lakhs ka fixed asset, to vendors account, suppliers account, 13 lakhs. Okay, that's the first generate. Fixed asset account debit to vendors account, 13 lakh, 13 lakh. Fine. Then you issued debentures of 15 lakh. See this, you got an asset worth 13 lakh. It's not cash, but it is an asset after all. You got assets worth 13 lakh and you're giving 15 lakh a debenture. So have you made a loss or have you made a gain here? You're receiving an asset of 13 lakh and you're creating debentures worth 15 lakh. Is this a gain or is this a loss? What is it according to you? It's a loss, right? It's a loss. It's you've not received cash. You've not received cash, but you have received an asset, fixed asset. So you still made a loss of 2 lakh rupees, which will be debited to the discount account, which will be booked as a loss in the discount account. So the journal entry will be like this. Vendor's account debit 13 lakhs. We had to pay him 13 lakhs. So vendor's account debit 13 lakhs. There's a discount of 2 lakhs, discount on the issue of debentures. The loss that we have made, 2 lakhs is debited to discount on issue. 12% debentures, 15 lakhs. So this is the journal entry to issue those debentures, 15 lakh worth debentures. I hope you have understood this. Next, to sundry persons. Sundry means various persons. For cash at 90% of the nominal value of 30 lakh. Nominal value is face value. So 30 lakh worth debentures was issued at 90%. That means there is a discount of 10%. So first receive the cash, bank account debit to debenture application account. So 30 lakhs into 90% you can do. You can also calculate the face value of each debenture. 60 lakh is the total value they had set in the first sentence. Divided by 10,000, you get 600. 600 is the value of each debenture. So the issue price is 540. You can do it like that also. But here, simply, easy, it is 30 lakhs into 10% is the discount. So you're receiving 90%. 90% is 27 lakhs. So bank account debit 27 lakh to debenture application and allotment account 27 lakhs. Then transfer that 27 lakhs debenture application account debit, application and allotment account, you can write 27 lakh. Discount on issue 3 lakh, 10% is the discount, right? So 3 lakh to 12% debentures 30 lakhs. You transfer it. So you can do it like this. Then to the banker as collateral security for a loan of rupees 14 lakhs. 15 lakh is the nominal value of the debentures. So first you have to receive the loan. You've taken the loan. For that bank account will be debited. 14 lakh ka loan you have taken to bank loan account because there's a liability 14 lakh. So the entry for bank loan is this, bank account debit to bank loan account. Then you don't pass an entry for issue of debentures. There are two types, okay, two methods to account this. Under the first method, you don't pass an entry. You write a note. You give a note in the financial statements. You say note in the balance sheet the fact that the debentures issued as collateral security and outstanding are shown under the respective liability. You have to just write it that we have issued some debentures. Under that liability itself, wherever you're writing the bank loan, right? There only down you have to write it. And the other accounting is, it is not given over here, but the other type of accounting is you pass this entry. You say debenture suspense account debit. 2, what percent debentures are we showing? 12%. How many debentures? What is the face value of the debentures we're showing? 14 lakhs. So you pass this entry. So for the debentures which are issued as collateral security, there are two accounting treatments. One is just giving a note. Okay, you give a note in the financial statement, you write that fact over here also. That boss, we're not passing any entry for the debentures which are issued as collateral security. Rather, we give a note in the financial statements. You can just give a note. The other way of accounting this is by passing this entry, debenture suspense account debit to 12% debentures account. This is another way of accounting this. Yes. So you can see over here, I was telling you the same thing now. Methods to account issue debentures as collateral security. So here there are two ways. Look at this question. Look at this thing. X Limited obtained a loan from IDBI of 1 crore, giving us a collateral security of 1 crore 50 lakhs, 14% for small case debentures. So here you just write the loan entry first. They have not given the loan entry, they've just shown how the disclosure works. So it will come under liability, and there you have to write collateral security secured by issue of 1 lakh, 1 crore 50 lakh, 14% debentures. You just give like that. No. Method two, you actually pass an entry for it. Debenture suspense to 14% debentures account in this case. You pass that entry, 1 crore 50 lakh, 1 crore 50 lakh. This is the entry. So there are two types of accounting as I mentioned. CEO. The journal entry is this. Okay. One more important question is that one with TDS. From this, that's a slightly a longer question. This one. This one is also important from your exam perspective. Illustration 13. So a company issued 12% debentures of the face value of rupees 10 lakhs at 10% discount on 1/1/2017. Debenture interest after deducting tax and chose 10% was payable on 30th June and 31st December every year. All the debentures were to be redeemed after the expiry of 5 years at a premium of 5%. So there is premium of 5% and there's a discount of 10% when you are issuing the debentures. So now see, we have to account for this. You can pass two separate entries. They have combined the entries and written, but you can pass two separate entries. What is the issue price? 10 lakh into per unit. We don't know how many debentures and all they haven't given. So directly you can do 10 lakh minus 10%. So that's 9 lakh. So 9 lakh is the issue price. The bank account debit to debenture application and allotment account 9 lakh rupees. That is the amount of the debentures. Then you have to transfer that 9 lakh. So here discount this debenture account will come over here. So debenture application and allotment account debit 9 lakh. You're understanding what I'm saying, right? They have combined the entries. You don't have to do it like this. You could do like this. First, you receive the money, bank account debit 10 lakh into 90% because there is a 10% discount. So 9 lakh. to debenture application and allotment account. 9 lakhs. Then we have to transfer this to the debentures account. So for that, debenture application and allotment account debit 9 lakhs. There is loss over here. Two types of losses also we are making. One is that issue discount, and the other one is the redemption premium. We're giving premium also on redemption. So two losses are there. So for that, we will debit the loss on issue account. So 10 lakh into 10%. This is issue discount. And redemption premium is 5%. So 50,000. So 1,50,000 is debited to the loss account. 2, you have to write the percentage of the debentures. What percent debentures are these? 12% debentures. %12 debentures, the face value. 10 lakhs. 2, you create a reserve for that redemption premium, whatever redemption premium we are paying. You have to create a reserve, or you can also credit the premium on redemption account. You can create a debenture redemption reserve. 50,000 now premium. Redemption premium. So this is the journal entry we have to pass for transfer of that money to the debentures account. Okay, then you have to pay off the debentures each year. That loss account will be written off at the end of the year. Each year we have to write it off, this loss account, no? Because it is one lump sum repayment, equally we write off. It is not in installments. The redemption is not in installments, it is in lump sum. So we have to write it off equally. 1,50,000 divided by how many years you have to see. And you have to write it off in that proportion only. It is after 5 years, they have said. So divided by 5, you have to do. That is at the end of the year you have to do. But before that, interest entry will be there. So now interest will be paid. 12% debentures these are. So 12% is the interest rate. We are paying it semi-annually, half yearly we are paying. Once on 30th June and once more on 31st of December. So debenture interest account debit, 10 lakh. On 10 lakh, you calculate the interest into 12%, 1,20,000. This is for the whole year into 6 by 12. 60,000 is the debenture amount. I hope you understood how I got that. 10 lakh is the face value of the debentures into 12% is the interest rate. So 1,20,000 is the interest for the whole year. You have to do for 6 months. So 6 divided by 12, because half yearly you are paying the interest, 60,000 rupees you got it. You understood, no, how I got 60,000? 10 lakh into 12%. 12% is the interest rate. Whatever you write in front of that debentures, the 12% debentures, 12% signifies the interest rate. So 60,000 is the interest, debenture interest. 60,000 to debenture holders. We are not going to pay everything to the debenture holders. 10% TDS is there. So 90% will be paid to the debenture holders. To debenture holders, 54,000. To tax deducted at source of the TDS payable account. It's a liability. We have to pay this to the government. 60,000 into 10%, 6,000 to TDS account. Then you have to make the payment. So for payment, the entry is debenture holders account debit, TDS account debit to bank account. So that's the payment entry. Same 2 entries again you have to pass for interest because you're paying interest twice a year. So this was on 30th June. Similar entries on 31st December also. Again, debenture interest account debit for 6 months. You have to pay. So that is 10 lakhs into 12% into 6 by 12, 60,000 to debenture holders account, 90% because there is TDS. To TDS account 6,000. Then you have to make the payment. Debenture holders tax deducted at source to bank account. You have to pass that entry. At the end of the year, you have to close the interest account because it is expense. It's a nominal account. You have to transfer it to P&L. Similarly, that discount account or loss account, loss on issue of debenture account was there. No, which was 1,50,000. You don't transfer everything to the P&L. You divide it by 5 because lump sum repayment divided by 5. So 30,000 will be transferred to P&L. Very simple question. I hope you paid attention. Again, people get confused over here. So I'm solving these questions for you quickly. I hope you understood it. Okay. So that's it. These questions, whatever I did, did like 4 or 5 concepts now. So just have a look at those questions again, and you're done with the benches. These are some important concepts what we discussed. 4 or 5 problems I did. No, just have a look at those questions. All past exam paper questions, whatever I discussed now in the session. Yes, yesterday's homework question, I'll discuss the solution. I had given you 2 questions, no? The rectification of error questions. So this was one of it, applied laboratories. Okay, Mrs. Applied Laboratories were unable to agree the trial balance as on 31st March 2020 and have raised a suspense account. Okay, and have raised the suspense account for the difference. Next year, the following errors were discovered. So this is stage 3. Repairs made during the year were wrongly debited to the building account. So now here, very simple. Repairs made during the year were wrongly debited to the building account. So the rectification entry is repairs account debit to building account. Repairs is a nominal account, it's an expense account. So we will have to write profit and loss adjustment account debit to building account 12,500. This is the journal entry. First one, A. Next, the addition of the freight column in the purchase journal was short by rupees 1,500. So the freight account would have been under debited by 1,500. So the rectification entry, if it was stage two, would be freight account debit to suspense account 1,500. Now, because it is stage three, the rectification entry will be instead of freight, you will say profit and loss adjustment account to suspense account 1,500. That's the rectification entry at stage three. Goods to the value of 1,050 written by a customer, Rani and Co., had been posted to the debit of Rani and Co. and also to the sales return. So the this is sales return entry. It was returned by Rani and Co. So the journal entry for sales return is what? The journal entry for sales return is sales return account debit to Rani and Co. So we should have credited Rani and Co. and debited sales return 1,050, 1,050. But what have we done? Had been posted to the debit of Rani and Co. and also to sales return. So Rani and Co. and sales return both have been debited. Now, sales return was to be debited. It is debited, no problem in sales return. Okay, the journal entry for sales return is sales return account debit to Rani and Co. So we have to debit sales return, we have debited sales return. That is not a problem. The problem is in Rani and Co. Rani and Co. was to be credited, right? You have to reduce your receivable. It's a customer's account because they are returning the goods. You have to reduce their receivable from them. Whatever is to be receivable, you have to reduce it. But instead, you have debited, you have increased it. So that is a mistake. So now what should we do? We have to credit 1,050 to remove that wrong debit because you unnecessarily debited Rani and Co. And you have to credit again to give the correct credit. So two times you will have to credit 1,050 plus 1,050, which is 2,100. You will have to credit to Rani and Co. So the journal entry suspense account debit to Rani and Co. The same entry will come even in stage three. The C entry you can see suspense account debit to Rani and Co. 2,100. Next one, total items of furniture sold for 30,000 had been entered in the sales book, the total of which had been posted to the sales account. So we had sold a furniture. Instead of crediting the furniture account, we have ended up crediting the sales account. So now what we will have to do, we will have to debit the sales account debit to furniture account 30,000. So sales account will be debited and furniture account will be credited with 30,000. So the journal entry at stage three, you understood, no, sales account was not to be credited, but unnecessarily they have treated it as sales and they have credited the sales account. Now we will have to debit the sales account and we will have to credit the furniture account because furniture has to be credited actually. And it is stage three, so sales account will not come in the entry. The profit and loss adjustment account will come. So the D entry will be P&L adjustment account debit. Instead of sales, we have debited the P&L adjustment account to furniture account 30,000. Last one is very interesting. A bill of exchange received from Raja and Co. for 20,000 had been returned by the bank as dishonored and had been credited to the bank and debited to bills receivable account. Okay. So a bill of exchange received from Raja and Co. for 20,000 had been written by the bank dishonored. So what had happened here is, listen to this. Why did I give this bill to the bank? I had received this from Raja and Co. One bill receivable. It seems the banker is returning the bill now, saying that it is dishonored. So why did it go to the bank in the first place? Why did we give it to the bank in the first place? It's because we had discounted the bill, right? So it was a discounted bill. So we had given the bill to the banker and we had collected the money from the banker. Now, on the maturity date, Raja and Co. has to go to the banker and make the payment. But Raja and Co. is not making the payment. Okay, so that is why we call it as dishonor. It's a dishonor. Raja and Co. is not honoring his bill receivable. He's not going to the bank and he's not making the payment to the bank. So what does the banker do in this case? Banker will take that money from my account. That 20,000, the banker will take it from my account. So what is the entry? If the banker has to take that money from my account, the journal entry will be, I will not bear it as my expense. This is me paying on behalf of Raja and Co. So I will have to debit Raja and Co. So Raja and Co account debit. I will collect this money from Raja and Co. to bank account. Banker has taken. So this is the journal entry for dishonor of discounted bill. Remember, this is how you record the dishonor of a discounted bill. This is the journal entry for dishonor of a discounted bill. Raja and Co account debit to bank account 20,000 rupees. Now, what have they done? This is the correct entry. This should have been the entry. This is the correct accounting for it. This is how you record the dishonor of a discounted bill. Now read the question and see what they have done. What have they done? And had been credited to the bank account. Fine, that is correct. You have credited the bank. That is proper. And had been debited to bills receivable. No, you're not debiting. You can't recognize an asset. How? Bills receivable is an asset. Where is the asset coming from? Your money is going off here. So you can't debit the asset account. You can't debit the bills receivable account. You should have actually debited Raja and Co. So this is the mistake. Instead of debiting Raja and Co., they have debited bills receivable. That's all. They have done this. They have debited bills receivable. The credit is proper. The creditors to bank account they have given. So that's proper. But instead of debiting Raja and Co, they have debited bills receivable. This is the wrong effect they have given. So now what we will have to do, we will have to debit Raja and Co. Bank is proper, so do nothing with the bank account. Bills receivable has been wrongly debited. So now Raja and Co to bills receivable. Very simple, very easy. This is the journal entry we will have to pass. Rectification entry we will have to pass. Same thing at stage 3 also, because none of the two accounts are nominal accounts. These are personal accounts. So the same entry will come even in stage 3. Raja and go to bills receivable account. Simple. I hope you have followed this. So this was that question. One more is this. 1 second. Let me get the solution for that one. Are you all listening? Or Suresh talking to himself? Are you all with me? You all are listening, right? Yes. So the other question was this, which I'd given you as homework yesterday. Mr. Joshi's trial balance as on 31st March 2020 did not agree The difference was put to a suspense account. For the previous question, you have to do the P&L adjustment account. Okay, that I did not do. P&L adjustment account you have to do and pass that capital entry at the end. Okay, during the next year, okay, this is also stage 3 question. The following errors were discovered. So the total of the purchase account of one page 5615 was carried forward to the next page as 6551. So the mistake over here is in the purchase account. So it was 5615, but they carried it as 6551. So over carried forward or over debited. So by how much? 6551 minus 5615. 936 rupees was over debited. So now we will have to credit the purchase account stage 3 returns during the next trading period they have said. So the journal entry is suspense account debit to P&L adjustment account. Instead of purchases, you will say P&L adjustment 936. A sale of 281 was entered in the sales book as 821 and posted to the credit of the customer. Okay. So here a sale of the very interesting, very good point. This is it's just a puzzle. It's more like a puzzle. A sale of 281 was entered in the sales book as 821. So the sale account would have also been credited with 821. So that's over credit 821 minus 281. So there is an over credit of 539 rupees. Oh, sorry, not 531. 821 minus 281. 540 rupees. 540 rupees over credit will be there in the sales account. So now sales account is to be debited with 540. So sales account debit 540 or P&L adjustment over here. So P&L adjustment account debit 540. Then we have credited the customer. We should have actually, what is the entry for sales? The entry for sales is, this is the correct entry we should have passed. Customer to sales. 281, right? This was the correct effect. But wrong effect is, it's not an entry, wrong entry at the Helikagodilla. We can't call it as wrong entry. Rather, we have to see the effect. So sales has been credited with 821. Customer also has been credited with 821. This is what they have done. Okay. So now what we have to do is see this. Sales was over credited. Rectification we have to do now. There's no journal, wrong entry and the wrong effects have been given. So sales account was over credited. So sales account will be debited with 540. Customer was to be actually debited, but with 281, but they have credited 821. So customer was to be debited with 281, but they have said it was credited. The customer was credited with 821. So now customer will be debited with 821 plus 281. To remove the wrong credit, I will debit 821 and I will also give the correct debit of 281. So total it will be 821 plus 281, 1102. Two suspects. And instead of sales, I will say profit and loss adjustment. Stage 3, no? That's it. That's the journal entry over here. P&L adjustment 540, customer 1102, and suspense 164. Two mistakes. One, the amount was wrong, and the second one was it was debited to the customer, credited to the customer. Instead of debiting it, it was credited to the customer. Next one, C point. A return to a creditor 295 was entered in this return inward book. However, the creditor's account was correctly posted. So it was a return to a creditor. What do you mean by return to a creditor? Supplier, right? Creditor is a supplier. So it's a purchase return. So instead of treating it as purchase return, we wrote it in the return inward book. Return inward book means what? Sales return book. So I treated it as sales return. Purchase return being treated as sales return. However, the creditor's account was correctly posted. So there's no mistake in the creditor's account. So what is the correct effect that we should have given to this? It's a purchase return. So purchase return effect is creditor account debit to purchase return account. So creditor is to be debited and purchase return is to be credited. But we have treated it as sales return. That means we have debited the sales return account. Creditor account is proper. So creditor has been debited only. There's no problem in the creditor's account. It's correctly posted, they have said. So sales return will have been debited. So the correct effect was very simple. This one. Correct effect was it's a purchase return transaction. So creditor debit to purchase return. This was the correct entry. But what is the wrong entry they have passed? They did not pass an entry, they have given wrong effects. So creditor has been debited, so that's proper. This is what they have done. And sales written, they have treated it as sales written because they have written it in the sales written account. So this is what they have done, sales written book. Written inward means sales written. So this is what they have done. Now rectification effect will be creditor is proper, don't do anything with creditor. Purchase return was to be credited, they did not credit, so credited. Sales return has been unnecessarily debited, so credited. So both the accounts will be credited. Purchase return as well as sales return will be credited. Suspense account will be debited. And these are nominal accounts. So see the amount once to the amount 295. So this is 295, this is 295, and this is 590. The double 590. So instead of these two accounts, I will say profit and loss adjustment account. You don't have to write P&L adjustment twice. That will be wrong. You have to replace it once only. So total 590 you will write. So that's our journal entry. Suspense account to P&L adjustment 595. Cash received from Senu 895 was posted to debit of Setu 895. So we had received cash from Senu. So the entry is cash account debit to Senu's account 895. Instead of crediting Senu, we have debited Setu. So now credit Senu 895, credit Setu also 895. And suspense account will be debited. Suspense account debit 1790 to Senu's account 895 to Setu's account 895. We did a similar question yesterday. Goods worth 1400 were dispatched to a customer before the close of the year, but no invoice was made out. So this is a sales. We had sold some goods to a customer, 1400 worth goods. No entry was made, invoice was made. So that is why now we have to pass the entry for it. What is the journal entry for sale? Entries customers account debit to sales account. Sales is a nominal account, so you will write customers account debit to profit and loss adjustment account. 1400, 1400. Simple. 600 due from Mr. Q was omitted to be taken to the trial balance. Due from Mr. Q. So it's a trade receivable. We did not write it in the trial balance. So now trade receivable or Q's account debit to suspense account. 600 rupees. Sale of goods to Mr. R for 3,000 was omitted to be recorded. So this is R's account debit to sales account. Sales is nominal account, so P&L adjustment account 3,000. Then you have to do the P&L adjustment, find the balance, and this entry has to be passed. Okay. Once. Okay. Before I go to the next unit, I'll just talk about something important. So I hope everyone is listening to me. So how do we deal with the theory part? Theory concepts. How do we deal with the theory concepts for exams? And how to deal with the true or false questions as well. So, should I sit and read the whole textbook for theory questions at this point? The answer is no. For the first, for the first chapter, so there are two theory. When I say theory, it's the question, right? There are two theory questions that is asked, and then there are true or false questions. There are totally six true or false questions that you will get, 2 marks each, 12 marks, very scoring. It's super scoring. You should not mess around these questions. True or false question, write the true or false and then write the reason. Don't just repeat the whatever is given in the question. Don't write the same thing again over here. Justify your answers cleanly. Don't have to write paragraphs to justify your answer, but very crisp, and think and write the answers. Okay. Most of you will know it. You don't have to sit and study all of that now, but you know those concepts. You trust your instincts at this point. I would not advise you to sit and read up so much, because most of you will be able to do those true or false questions. If you studied the chapters, it will be easy. You will do it. So, especially from the first chapter itself, they ask one or two true or false questions. In the first, from the first chapter, theoretical framework itself, they ask true or false questions that you can do. It's not difficult. And then two theory questions I told you. So one theory question will be part of the first main question, and one more theory question will be part of the last main question. So sixth question. You have totally six questions. So in the first question, the compulsory question, you have one theory mark, generally for 4 marks, theory question, and the last question will be for 5 marks. So the first question, whatever you have, that compulsory question, you have 4 marks. That is from theoretical framework always. It is again from theoretical framework itself. And the last one is from any chapter. And most of the times it's been from module one chapters itself, which is for 5 marks. Okay, inventories chapter or depreciation chapter. These and this time even from the journal chapter was asked. So it can be asked from any of the chapters. So I again don't advise you to sit and read it at this point. You can just go through it. You can say spend 3 hours or 4 hours for it today, tomorrow, whenever you want, but not on the last few days. Focus more on practical part, because theory, the return on investment of your time is very low. So that is why focus more on the practical part. Theory, you can keep half a day set, tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever you feel, I'm a little bored with all the practical problems, you can sit with the theory. And true or false question, honestly, does not need any preparation, because this is not law. You don't have to write specific words for it. You just have to justify your answer in, plain English and proper English, right? Just to give the correct reasoning why you are saying true or false. So can I write the theory at the end? It's part of a big question. So it depends on when you're attempting that question, right? So I generally advise the first compulsory question. Don't start with the first question. This is my personal advice. You can have some other agenda, or you can have some other idea about this. But my idea is, don't start with the first question. Don't start with the compulsory question. Two reasons. One, it's theory. You can write your best, but still you could go somewhere, or go wrong somewhere. The first question is very important whenever you're attempting your answer sheets, answer papers, whatever you write in that booklet, the first part, right? The first 4 pages, first 5 pages. will create an impression in the heads of the valuer. So that is why the first 5 pages of your 34 pages ka booklet, 5 pages, just the first 4 or 5 pages hold a very important role in the valuation of your paper. So while you're attempting that first 4 or 5 pages, you have to be sorry, when you're writing, yeah, when you're writing anything, when you're putting anything into those first 4 or 5 pages of your booklet, you have to be careful. You have to have your best content on the first 4 or 5 pages. Right? It's just like you have you when you look at a movie or when you watch something, when you watch a class, so you will judge everything on the basis of the first few minutes, right? Same thing happens in the valuer's mind also. The first 5 pages or 4 pages, he will judge you. He will see how much you've studied. He will know how much you've studied. He'll try to get a measure of how good you are. So the first 4 or 5 pages are very important. So don't mess around the first 4 or 5 pages. So theory, I wouldn't advise you to put in those 4 or 5 pages. So don't start with your the first question, or rather start with the practical question. Generally, question 3, question 4 will have this average rate account, and quickly you can finish it off. And most of you will be comfortable doing those questions also. So do that first, or BRS if it's there, rectification of errors if it's there. So you can do that part in the first. You can start with that. And the last question will have company's account plus one theory question that you can attempt anywhere you want. So there's no particular order to write these questions. And always attempt each question on a fresh page. You know that, right? For description, for descriptive papers, law and accounts, both of these papers, you should always attempt the questions on fresh pages. Fresh questions on fresh pages. So remember to do that as well. Okay, that is about the theory part. Okay, now we will do this bills of exchange. I'll do a couple of questions from bills of exchange as well. Again, exam questions only I will do. This is bills of exchange now. Rita owed 1 lakh to Siriman. On 1st October 2019, Rita accepted a bill drawn by Siriman for the amount at 3 months. Siriman got the bill discounted with his bank for 99,000 on 3rd October 2019. Before the due date, Rita approached Siriman for renewal of the bill. Siriman agreed on the condition that 50,000 be paid immediately together with the interest on the remaining amount at 12% per annum for 3 months. And for the balance, Rita should accept a new bill at 3 months. These arrangements were carried out, but afterwards Rita became insolvent and 40% of the amount could be recovered from his estate. Pass the journal entries with narration in the books of syllabus. Okay, let's start one by one. You have to pass the entries. Very simple question. Let's start with the entries. First, Rita owed 1 lakh to Cinnamon. No entry for Rita owed money, so we don't pass an entry for that. We have to start with the bill. On 1st October 2019, Rita accepted a bill drawn by Cinnamon. So Rita is accepting, she's promising to make the payment. So it is a bill receivable for Cinnamon. So from Cinnamon's perspective, the entries are in the books of Cinnamon. So bills receivable it is for us. So bills receivable account debit to Rita's account 1 lakh. You can write the date also. I've not written the dates over here, but you can write the dates also. So bill receivable account debit to Rita the account 1 lakh rupees. Next, Siriman got the bill discounted with his bank for 99,000 on 3rd October 2019. So we are discounting this with the bank for 99,000. So bank is eating up 1,000, which is an expense for us. That 1,000 rupees is an expense for us. So the entry will be, we're receiving 99,000 from the bank. So bank account debit 99,000, discount account debit 1,000. To bills receivable account, we are giving the asset bill receivable account 1 lakh. Next, before the due date, Rita approached Siriman for renewal of the bill. Siriman agreed on the condition that 50,000 be paid immediately. So remember, whenever there is renewal, this is renewal concept. We have to pass totally 4 entries. Okay. What are the 4 entries? The first one is, the first one, 4 entries totally when there is renewal. The first journal entry is to cancel the old bill, dishonor entry for the old bill. Second one, you have to charge interest. Third one, if any amount is being paid, you have to receive that money. Because renewal means you have to draw the new bill. No, sometimes they give some money. In this case, also that person is giving some money. So you have to record that. Fourth one, you have to draw the new bill. Totally 4 things you have to do. Number 1, cancel the bill. That is dishonor entry. Cancel the old bill, dishonor entry. Second one, charge interest. Interest is an income for us here. So pass the interest income entry. Third one is you have to receive the money. If the person is paying any money, you have to receive it. Fourth one is you have to draw the new bill. That's all. So 4 things we have to do. First one, cancel the bill. Now see this, the bill receivable has been discounted. So bill receivable is not in our books. We have given it to the bank. So you don't have bill receivable account in your books open. So it is a discounted bill. So dishonor of a discounted bill earlier in rectification of errors, I had told you, no, we discussed one question, dishonor of a discounted bill. So what is the journal entry for dishonor of the discounted bill? Here, Rita's account debit to bank account. Banker will take that money and Rita's account will be debited for the whole value, 1 lakh rupees. So Rita account debit 1 lakh to bank account 1 lakh. That is the journal. Second one, interest. Now, interest will be charged. We will not charge interest on the whole 1 lakh. We are getting some money at this point only. 50,000 will be paid immediately. So on the remaining amount, we have to charge 12% interest for 3 months. So the remaining is out of 1 lakh, 50,000 we are receiving now. So remaining is 50,000. 50,000 into 12% is 6,000 into 3 by 12, 3 months. That is 1,500. So that is the interest amount. So for that, we have to pass the entry, Rita's account debit to interest account. It's an income for us, so we'll credit the interest account. It's receivable from Rita. So we will debit the Rita's account. So Rita's account debit 1,500 to interest account 1,500. This is the journal entry for interest. Second step done. The first step was to cancel the bill. The second step, cancel. This was a discounted bill. So dishonor entry we pass both basically. When I say cancel, we have to pass the dishonor entry. Second one is to charge interest. It's income for us, so we've credited the income interest account. And then the third one is receive money. Now see how much money are we receiving. Siriman agreed on the conditions that 50,000 be paid immediately together with interest on the remaining amount. So we are receiving how much? 50,000 plus that interest amount is also being received. Okay, not just 50,000, we are receiving 50,000 plus interest. How much is interest? 1,500 is the interest. So we are receiving 51,500. So receive that money, bank account debit to Rita account 51,500. And finally, draw the new bill for 50,000 rupees, the remaining 50,000. So should I include interest? No, we have already received the interest amount. No, we don't include that interest again in the new bill. So now just draw the new bill. Bills receivable account debit to Rita's account 50,000 rupees. New bill entry. That's all. Done. That is renewal. Renewal is complete over here. 4 entries we had to pass for renewal. We had to cancel the old bill. You can see the 4 entries on your screen. We had to cancel the old bill, Rita to bank. It's a discounted bill, so Rita to bank. Then we had to charge interest. on 50,000 for 12% at 12% for 3 months. So Rita's account debit to interest income account, so 1,500. Then we had to receive money from Rita. She's paying 51,500, 50,000 plus 1,500, so 51,500. Then we had to draw the new bill. So for that 50,000 bill receivable to Rita. Done. Next, what happens? These arrangements were carried out, but afterwards Rita became insolvent. So Rita had to pay that 50,000, no, that new bill she had accepted. But Rita is becoming insolvent. So we have to cancel that bill. So bill receivable account debit, cancelling the bill. So Rita's account debit to bill receivable account, 50,000 rupees. Then we receive some 40% of the amount could be recovered from his estate. So we are receiving 40% of that amount. So 50,000 into 40%. We have to receive 50,000 into 40%. So how much do you get? 20,000 rupees, right? So bank account debit 20,000. The remaining 30,000 is bad debts. You will not recover it ever. So you will debit bad debts account to Rita's account, will close her account 50,000. So this is the journal. That's simple. To get a question like this in the exam, it's very easy to do. I hope you have understood this. Okay, next, another question we have. On 1st January 2018, Akshay draws two bills of exchange for 16,000 and rupees 25,000. The bill of exchange for 16,000 is for 2 months, while the bill of exchange for 25,000 is for 3 months. These bills are accepted by Vishal. On 4th March 2018, Vishal requests Akshay to renew the first bill with interest at 15% per annum for a period of 2 months. Akshay agreed to this proposal. On 25th March 2018, Vishal retires the acceptance for 25,000, the interest rebate, that is discount being 250. Before the due date of the renewed bill, Vishal becomes insolvent and only 50 paisa in a rupee could be recovered from his estate. Show the journal entries with narration in the books of Akshay. Okay, so you have to pass the entries one by one. First, in the books of Akshay, it is Akshay draws two bills, 16,000 and 25,000 on Vishal, right? So the journal entry is bills receivable account debit. You can see the solution. The bills receivable account debit 16,000. That's the first bill. You can write one in the brackets. Bill receivable two, 25,000 to Vishal's account, 41,000. So this is on 1st January. Now directly go to 4th March. On 4th March 2018, Vishal requests to renew the first bill with the interest at 15% per annum for a period of 2 months. Very simple. The first bill, we have to cancel the bill. So for that, Vishal's account debit to bill receivable. I'm still sitting with the bill. I haven't given it to the bank. I haven't discounted it. I haven't endorsed it. So it is with me only. So I have to just reverse the entry. Vishal's account debit to bill receivable account 16,000. Next, they have said charge interest. So interest at what percentage? Interest at 15% per annum. So you have to calculate how much is the interest. 16,000 into 15% into 2 months, 2 by 12. So 400. So the entry for interest is Vishal's account debit to interest account to 400 rupees. Just 400 rupees is the interest. Then there is no there's no amount being received here. New bill will be drawn. The amount of the new bill will be 16,000 plus 400. So 16,400. So bills receivable account debit to Vishal's account. So we've combined the entry over here. The bills receivable account debit 16,400. We have a third bill now, 16,400. Interest is 400. Vishal's account is 16,000. You can pass two separate entries. One entry for interest. The entry for interest will be Vishal to interest 400, 400. And then another entry for bills receivable 16,400 to Vishal's account 16,400. You can do two different accounts, different transactions. You can record two different entries. And after this, what happens next? So for now, that old bill, the first bill is gone. The third bill has come for 16,400. Okay. On 25th March 2018, we shall retire the acceptance for 25,000. The earlier bill was there, no? The second bill. So that 25,000. He is retiring it. The interest rebate, that is discount, being 250. Rebate is 250. So now we are receiving, how much money are we receiving? 25,000 minus 250. Retirement means early payment. When he's paying early, we will have to give him a discount. We don't call it as discount here, we call it as rebate. Discount on later is rebate. 250 rupees rebate is given. So 24,750 we receive. So bank account debit 24,750, rebate account or discount account debit 250. We generally avoid the term discount here because we already use it for uh, discounting of a bill. No. You can say rebate, you can say discount, not a problem. Discount account debit or rebate account debit, it's an expense for us, 250 rupees. To bill receivable, that second bill is being retired. So to bill receivable, 25,000 rupees. Okay, that's it. And then before the due date of the renewed bill, that 16,400 ka bill was there, no, Vishal becomes insolvent. So now we have to close that bill. That bill will be closed. Vishal's account debit 16,400 to bill receivable 16,400. We're canceling that bill. And are we receiving anything from his estate? Vishal becomes insolvent, only 50 paisa could be recovered. So 16,400 into 50 paisa means 50%, 8,200. You can combine these entities and write bank account debit 8,200, balance account debit 8,200 to Vishal's account 16,400. You can combine the last two entries. The dates, you just have to add the term and 3 days for everything. You will get those dates. Okay. Then one more concept is there in this bills of exchange, which is the accommodation bills. Okay. That you can just have a look, but it's easy. But you should have done it once before. Now, last moment, I wouldn't advise you to sit with that. Once if you have seen it before, you can just have a look at it. It may come for your exams. It's come very often. It's come at least 4 times out of the 12 attempts, 11 attempts so far. So it is sort of important, but you must have seen it once before. In the last moment, I wouldn't advise you to just stick with a new concept right now. But other things you can finish, and that also you can do. Half you can do as much as you can. Just have a look. There are 3 questions in your textbook. You can just have a look at those questions once. Apart from that, bills of exchange is just this retirement, renewal, discounting, dishonor of discounting bill. All of this is bills of exchange, which is doable. Okay, so that was a quick brush up of your bills of exchange. If you have any doubts, any questions, please ask. Taking your questions. If you have any questions, any doubts, Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Am I audible now? Okay. So now, look at this question. I hope you read the question. So there were two. What have they said here? On 1st January 2019, a company purchased a plant for 20,000. On 1st July in the same year, it purchased another plant worth 8,000 and spent 2,000 on the selection. On 1st July 2020, the plant purchased on 1st January 2019, having become obsolete, so and so happened. Okay. Directly go to the last point. Depreciation is provided at 10% per annum on original cost. Can you tell me which method are we following? WDV method or straight line method? You should tell me the answer. What method am I following? WDV or straight line? Depreciation is provided at 10% per annum on original cost. What method are we following? We are following the straight line method of depreciation. What method? We are following straight line method of depreciation. SLM method, SLM here. Yes. Yes. Original cost means straight line. Fine. Yes. Now we have to pass the interest. Let's start. So on 1st January 2019, we had purchased two bank account 20,000. Then again 1719, we purchased another plant 8,000 rupees plus 2,000. 8,000 was the cost of the plant plus 2,000 for installation. For erection, we gave money. So total 10,000 rupees we paid. So two bank account twice. 2019, 20,000. Again 2019, 10,000. Then at the end of the year, we have to charge depreciation by depreciation. I'm writing the bifurcation. So by depreciation, plant one, 20,000 into 10%, 10,000. We have used it for the whole year. Plant two, the 10,000 ka plant, we have not used it for the whole year. We have used it only for 6 months. All right. So 6 months, 10,000 into 10% into 6 by 12, 500. Total depreciation is 2,500. And the balance, I'm writing the bifurcation also. When you have a question like this, it's always better to write the bifurcation. Bifurcation means what is the balance of plant one, what is the balance of plant two. Separately, you write so that when you're selling off, no, you have the book values ready, book value of the asset ready. It becomes easy to record. So, plant one was purchased for 20,000. This year's depreciation is 2,000 on plant one, the first plant. 2,000 is the amount of depreciation. So the closing book value is 18,000. See the bifurcation. Plant one, 20,000 minus 2,000, 18,000. Plant two, we had purchased it for 10,000. The depreciation is 500. So the closing value was 9,500. So 27,500 is the plant two's value. Correct? No. So the total value is 27,500. 18,000 is 9,500. Then two balance brought down 27,500. Plant one is 18,000 in this. Plant two is 9,500 in this. Next, what happens on 1st July 2020, next year? The plant purchased on 1st January 2019, having become obsolete, was sold off for 12,500. So the first plant, which was purchased on 1119, is being sold now for 12,500. So before you sell it off, charge depreciation. You have to charge depreciation for how many months you have to charge. Are you using it in 2020? Yes, you are using it in 2020 for 6 months. Till June, right? January, February, March, April, May, and June. 6 months you're using it to charge depreciation by depreciation 1,000 rupees. How did I get 1,000? On 20,000, the original cost, straight line method. So on the cost, you have to charge 10% for 6 months. There, 20,000 into 10% into 6 by 12. So you get 1,000 rupees as depreciation. So this was for the 6 months we charge depreciation and then write the bank entry. So we are receiving 12,500. So by bank account 12,500. I wrote the bank entry. Now I have to calculate profit or loss. Sir, what was the opening book value? 18,000 was the value, right? 18,000 was the value of the asset at the beginning of this year, 2020 ka beginning. The opening book value was 18,000. The value was 18,000 of that asset, the plant one. 18,000 was the asset. This year you used it for 6 months, so you have to charge depreciation of 1,000. So the current value on the date of sale, the value of the machine is 17,000 rupees. The value of that plant is 17,000 rupees. Now we are selling this plant for 12,500. So 12,500 is the sale value. The book value is 17,000, but the sale value is only 12,500. So you make a loss. How much loss did you make? 12,500 minus 17,000. 4,500 is my loss. So now for this loss, buy loss on sale, you have to debit the loss account and you have to credit the asset account 4,500. Very, very simple. In your calculator only you can do these calculations. So this is loss on sale. Next, did we purchase a new plant in 2020? No. You just charge depreciation at the end of the year, buy depreciation on that second plant. Second plant was there. No. What is the cost of second plant? 10,000 rupees. This one. 10,000 rupees into 10% for the whole year. 1,000 rupees will be the depreciation. And the balance, whatever balance is remaining, it will be the second plant only. 9,500 was the opening balance of plant 2 minus 1,000 depreciation just now we charged on the second plant. So the closing book value of second plant is 8,500. The two balance brought on 8,500. Then in 2021, we are also purchasing a new plant for 28,000. So you have to write to bank account 28,000. The plant purchased on 1st July 2019 was sold at 6,000. So we are also selling the old plant. That second plant which we had is selling it off for 6,000. So first you have to see if we have used it during the year. So October, till October we have used it in 2021. So that's 9 months. So for 9 months on 10,000, second plant cost was 10,000. So 10,000 into 10% into 9 by 12. You have to charge 750 depreciation. Then loss on sale, you have to calculate. Very simple. The opening book value was 8,500 of that second plant, right? We had only that one plant. So the value of that plant was 8,500 at the beginning of the year. Just now you charge 750 depreciation. So 7,750 is the book value or the date of sale. The value of that asset in our books is 7,750. At the beginning, it was 8,521. But then we charge depreciation just now, 750 rupees, 7,750. We're selling it for 6,000. So 1,750 is our loss. So loss on sale, 1,750. Charge depreciation on that plant that we had purchased in this year at the end of the year. So that will be 700 rupees. 28,000 into 10% into 3 by 12, 700 rupees. Simple question. I hope you have followed it. And just try this. Okay. So we'll do one thing. I will stop here. We'll do more questions on depreciation in the next session. Okay. If you have any doubts now, you can ask me, or we can stop the session. All right. I don't see any questions coming on the chat box. I will stop now. We will continue in the 10 o'clock session. See you there.